Mr. Secretary, I'm very concerned that sequestration, those indiscriminate automatic cuts, are going to kick back in 2016 if we don't act. We have a 2-year reprieve, but in fact, the Budget Control Act calls for those draconian cuts to resume in 2016. There are two issues that I want to raise with you about the impact of those automatic cuts known as sequestration. And the first follows up with the point about the efficiencies that you achieve if you have multi-year contracts. Right now, we're looking at a 10-ship buy for the DDG-51 class of destroyers, over 10, it's a 10-ship buy. And that 10-ship buy actually saves the Navy some $1.5 billion. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
And so that's essentially allowing us to get an extra destroyer for free, if you look at it, compared to buying them individually and not having the certainty of the 10-ship buy. Is that correct?
You've identified one of the pernicious effects of sequestration that we will get. It has the potential, if it kicks back in 16, to give us fewer ships, but at higher cost.
And that, Mr. Chairman, truly is the worst of all worlds. If we don't have the certainty of the 10-ship buy, we end up paying more per ship and getting fewer ships. So I hope we'll keep that in mind and make sure that we do not allow sequestration to kick back in and undermine the savings that otherwise would occur for ships that we really need. The second and related issue has to do with the number of destroyers that could be procured. Right now, we're scheduled to build 2 DDG-51s per year through FY15 through FY17. Yet, according to the chart that General Greenert gave us today, it sure looks to me that we would be in jeopardy of losing 3 of those destroyers if we have to budget at the BCA levels. Admiral, am I reading your chart correctly?
Yes, Senator, you're reading it correctly.
And could you describe the benefits that destroyers provide, that the DDG-51, in terms of air and missile defense? They're the real workhorse of the fleet, are they not?
Yes, Senator. They're the premier warship, surface warship of our fleet, premier.
And if you look at the number of ships that the combatant commanders have requested, how many is that?
Well, if we add them all up, 450 is what they say they need to do the global engagement of the force.
Now, I realize that is without considering cost, but I just want my colleagues to realize that the combatant commanders say that if you really fulfilled their needs and met their requirements, we'd actually need 450 ships. And I think that's really important for us to keep in mind as we go through these budget deliberations. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.